Have you ever considered that the key to transforming your habits might not lie in sheer willpower or motivation, but in the very environment that surrounds you? What if simply adjusting your surroundings could pave the way to personal success? Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Grow, your go-to place for leveling up your mind and life. In today's video, we're delving into insights from Chapter 6 of James Clear's Atomic Habits. We will explore how our environment often has a greater impact on our behavior than motivation, and how small modifications to our surroundings can lead to significant changes in our daily lives. So stick around until the end, because this is one powerful chapter. Clear begins Chapter 6 with a compelling assertion. Motivation is frequently overrated. While motivation and willpower are important, they are often not enough to sustain lasting behavioral change. Many individuals struggle with habits not because they lack desire, but because their environments are not conducive to the behaviors they wish to adopt. For example, consider how effortlessly we might consume snacks placed within our immediate view. Walking into a kitchen and seeing a plate of cookies on the counter can lead to mindless eating, even if we weren't previously hungry. This reaction is less about self-control and more about how environmental cues trigger our behaviors. The environment acts as an invisible hand that subtly molds our actions. In various settings, people tend to behave in predictable ways, influenced by their surroundings. In a quiet library, whispers prevail. In a bustling market, animated conversations are the norm. These behaviors are guided by contextual cues rather than solely by internal motivations. Psychologist Kurt Lewin encapsulated this concept with his equation. Behavior is a function of the person in their environment. This means that our actions are a product of both our personal characteristics and the environment we inhabit. Often, environmental factors can outweigh personal intentions in determining behavior. Visual stimuli are particularly potent in influencing our habits. The majority of our sensory receptors are dedicated to sight, making visual cues especially powerful. Our daily actions are frequently guided by the most apparent actions in our environment. We may choose certain foods, activities, or products not because we have a strong preference for them, but simply because they are the most visible or accessible. This underscores how our choices can be shaped more by environmental design than by deliberate decision making. An empowering insight from Clear is that we are not merely passive recipients of environmental influence. We have the power to design our environment to encourage positive environments and discourage negative ones. By making intentional adjustments to our surroundings, we can make beneficial behaviors more likely. For example, if you aim to practice the guitar more frequently, placing the instrument in a visible and accessible location increases the likelihood of picking it up. Conversely, keeping it stored away reduces visual cues and makes a habit less likely to occur. Similarly, placing healthy foods at eye level in your refrigerator can promote better eating habits, while relegating less options to less visible areas. Over time, our habits become linked not just to specific triggers, but to the entire context surrounding them. A particular room, a piece of furniture, or time of day can become associated with certain behaviors. For one person, the kitchen table might be a place for family meals and conversations. For another, it might be a makeshift office space. Understanding this association allows us to deliberately shape our environments. By assigning specific spaces for specific activities, we strengthen the mental connection between the context and the desired behavior. For instance, dedicating a corner of your home exclusively to reading can enhance your focus and enjoyment when reading. Attempting to build new habits in environments filled with competing cues can be challenging. If a space is associated with multiple activities, some of which may conflict, it becomes harder to adopt new behaviors. For example, if you often watch TV in bed, trying to establish the habit of reading before sleep may be undermined by the existing association of TV and bed. Clear suggests that whenever possible, we should avoid mixing contexts. One space, one use is a mantra that can help maintain clear associations between environments and behaviors. By dedicating specific areas for specific purposes, we reduce the cognitive load required to switch between activities and make it easier for desired habits to take root. Introducing new habits can be more manageable in newer or redesigned environments. When we step into a different setting, we leave behind the subtle triggers and cues that nudge us towards our current habits. This can provide a psychological fresh start, free from the association that may have hindered previous efforts. If changing physical locations is not feasible, we can redefine our existing spaces. Rearranging furniture, altering decor, or even just changing the lighting can signal a shift in context. Establishing a dedicated workspace at home, for example, can enhance focus and productivity by creating a clear boundary between work and leisure areas. Habits thrive in stable environments where everything has a designated place and purpose. Consistency in our surroundings promotes consistency in our behaviors. When our environments are predictable, it reduces uncertainty and decision fatigue, making it easier to engage in desired actions. For instance, reserving the bedroom exclusively for sleep can reinforce the mental association between that space and restful activities, making it more conducive to falling asleep. Similarly, using a specific area for exercise can enhance motivation and performance by creating a context that is mentally and physically aligned with that activity. Clear emphasizes that small changes in our environment can lead to significant behavioral shifts over time. By being mindful of the cues in our surroundings and adjusting them to highlight positive actions, we can facilitate better habits without relying solely on motivation or willpower. Ultimately, the key takeaway of Chapter 6 of Atomic Habits is that we have the power to become the architects of our environments. Rather than allowing our surroundings to unconsciously shape us, we can intentionally design spaces that promote our well-being and align with our goals. This proactive approach involves regularly assessing our environments for cues that may help or hinder us. It requires a willingness to make changes, even small ones, that can accumulate over time to produce meaningful improvements in our habits. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Chapter 6 of Atomic Habits. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content on leveling up your minds and lives. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep growing.